boot scooting buggy. Oh my god.
I'm moving, scooting buggy.
Welcome back to the show. So, on this week's episode, we're going to talk about pretty much everybody's favorite thing to fantasize about.
Goth chicks?
With big titties.
You bet you're so glad your wife doesn't watch our show.
Damn straight. I'll be sleeping on the couch.
You'd be sleeping in the garage.
Sleeping outside.
In his truck.
You got a doghouse, right? You
No,
might want to build
got
one.
a fucking dog. That's why I take my truck away too. Because I
Might
can sleep
take-
on the fucking ground, bitch. All right.
The post-apocalypse, in case anybody was wondering. So what you guys think? I don't know. What do you think is going to be what finally does it in for us? Yes, that's Tiny. Tiny's going to be the cause of the
Tiny's
apocalypse.
going to be the cause of the apocalypse.
Tiny is going to unleash Phaleon upon the world, and all shall be doomed.
Honestly, I think it'd be something stupid.
I thought he was going to unleash Jormungandr finally.
No, he's definitely going to release Phaleon.
Both.
That's just a bad combo.
Right.
I think it'd be over resources.
Resource Wars? You know, that's what happened in
Ultimately.
Fallout. In the Fallout series, it's pretty much started with Resource Wars.
Because I don't think it'd be that, or it could be something from the space, not like aliens, but just natural like fucking comp. And
You know, I don't know. I would think that, like, see, I used to love movies about, like, meteors and shit like that coming to fucking Earth. And
yeah,
that's
but the
gonna be
meteor
it
would
for
have
us.
to be like retardedly like the size of like a country to actually.
I think we'd be able to stop it. I think we'd be able to. We would just like send a shuttle up and nuke the fucker, honestly, and it'd be done. Like break it into a bunch of pieces, and then it just gets eaten up into like little minor catastrophes instead of one big one.
Yeah, that's like we just have.
Like nobody's gonna complain if Oregon gets wiped out.
If what Oregon?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind.
You would mind?
Yeah.
You're from Mississippi. Why would you care if Oregon gets wiped out?
Oregon's a pretty state.
I've never been to Oregon.
Me
I just
either.
picked a random state.
Fucking
Okay.
Oregon.
Nobody's gonna care if
Maryland.
Maryland.
I don't know.
Maryland. That's his go-to.
North and South Dakota. Because why do we have a North and a South?
Sumter, South Carolina.
Not South
Nobody's
Carolina.
gonna miss that.
Somerville.
Nobody's gonna miss Sumter, South Carolina. Trust me.
or
People in
Somerville.
Sumter aren't gonna miss Sumter, South Carolina. I've been there. I know. They're gonna be
live in
like,
Florida.
"Oh, look, meteors! Finally."
Fine. Yeah, but yeah. I think it'd be over territory. It'd be over resources or territory.
Resources, I can see that. I can see. See, that's why I love the Fallout series, because it's like that was pretty much shit hitting the fan over resources. And then finally, like,
I don't think it'd be any kind of like diseases that wipe us out. I don't think so.
I don't know. Do you know what's going on right now?
Yeah, that's.
You say that.
No.
You say that, but like, there's been.
How's that
we've had
vaccine
plenty of-
working out for you? Do you feel kind of hungry? Do I look like a steak?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I didn't take the Johnson & Johnson either, so I don't have to worry about that.
Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah, you didn't hear about that? They had to do a total recall on the vaccines.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
shit.
bad. I don't know the whole story because I don't follow that kind of shit, but I heard that.
Because zombies.
Zombies. That's how it ends.
We can't talk about zombies. That's a different episode.
Yeah, that's coming.
That's
coming.
a good
It's-
episode.
That's just a prelude to zombies.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's gonna be a good episode, y'all. But no, I think like a natural.
I think Mad Max was Resource was too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
how it started, I don't remember how it started, but like all throughout, they were fighting for resources. to
Yeah,
the
but I
whole
think that's
thing.
just a given though. After a while,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to fight for.
Honestly, like I always wonder, what do you think would be the one resource that actually tips it over the chain? Like I think everybody always thinks it's like oil and shit like that. But what if it was actually something more like clean water?
Clean water would totally do
I could totally see
Clean
that.
water would do it. Like there'd be some,
Even crops.
because we can't live with crops.
Yeah,
Crops.
food,
Yeah.
food in general. I think oil and gasoline. I think I don't think that will cause it. I think that would be a good start for something to happen. But
Well,
I mean,
we've lived without it before.
I know
can
we.
live
I
without it
mean,
again.
it'd be a big like nowadays it'd be a big like culture shock. But we could survive without fucking
Right.
fossil fuel.
Cars could be converted over to be powered by
Almost
electricity.
anything, really.
Pulled by
Easily.
two-headed oxes.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled by two-headed oxes.
Horses. I mean, it's just we could bounce back from no. I mean, it'd be a shock to culture. Like we
Yeah.
would have to change a lot of things we do, how we do things, but it wouldn't be a Mad Max environment if that happened. I don't believe so.
No, because like
Panic,
you
I
could
think, would be the
use-
biggest issue.
Panic would be a big
Panic,
issue.
panic
Yeah.
is the biggest issue, but like
Because we get fucking people fucking panic. They buy fucking all the toilet paper. Like, really, people? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, the apocalypse almost started over the toilet paper fucking pan.
Yeah.
That was the real pandemic, let's be honest. When I couldn't find fucking toilet paper,
Everybody was buying
Like-
in bulk. Like, come on,
like,
people.
no, I straight up almost ended up in a fist fight in the middle of a Dollar General over a fucking 4-pack of toilet paper. Somebody was grabbing it, the lady's like, you better not do that. And I'm like, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Dude, you remember
Like,
when...
holy shit, you got a cart full of 3 fucking toilet papers. I just want to wipe my fucking ass tonight.
Man, you remember when the hurricane was here? And me, you, we were driving after the fact, and we're like, no lights were working, everything. They had,
Oh, yeah.
they had dude, there was one gas station and a Chinese restaurant open in the middle of the hurricane.
I totally would have went to the Chinese restaurant.
I measure how serious the situation is, whether 2 things are open. If a
Gas
Chinese
station.
restaurant is open, and at least one foreign-owned gas station is open,
Yeah, because it was.
then,
and they was...
then it's fine. You can go outside. If Wawa's closed, shit got bad. Or not Wawa.
I was like...
Waffle House. If Waffle House is closed, shit is
They were
bad.
closed still, but it was crazy because when we were driving down Blanding all the way from your brother's house, we were coming. We were going back. We were doing something. We were just joyriding because it was, but no lights were working. Nothing was gone. It was doing the big hurricane.
I think it was like right after. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right afterwards.
It was crazy. It was like, it felt like like apocalypse.
Dude, that was several hurricanes back.
Yeah. Well, it was
Yeah.
the big one that the Middlebug was completely fucking flooded. Like 218 was.
Yeah, that's what we were doing because we were running around. We were actually trying to figure out like what roads we could take and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
because
like,
218
if-
was completely underwater.
Yeah, if
Oh, that was a few years ago.
Yeah, it was a few years ago. Yeah,
It
I
was
was still
like
working
where
at
I was
WW. I was still working at my old job, not the one I work here now. I was still living with your brother.
remember when I almost broke my fucking ribs because I went kayaking like 4 days after like a hurricane or some shit like that in Black Creek. But when I go kayaking, I go into Jennings and I put the canoe in.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't a canoe, so it really wasn't kayaking. But I was taking the canoe in, but the water was moving so fast. Like, because they got those like I guess what's you would technically be considered rapids out there, but they're not. They're so small, they're not real rapids. Usually the water's in that area is not more than like 2 feet, so you're actually like getting out and dragging the fucking canoe.
Yeah, you are.
Um,
Yeah, I remember.
But at that point, like the water was like, because it's got like these huge mounds thing. But at that point, the water was like through that. So as we're like getting zipped through shit, like we're hitting the tops of trees because the water was like raised up to like the top where the mound kind of dipped or the retention kind of dipped, and it was just like this tree. Okay, here comes another tree, and then I remember it was like me, my ex, and our buddy Alex, and we're just going through, and we're just trying to get through it, and like he's at the front of the canoe like paddling, I'm at the back of the canoe paddling. He's kind of like borderline freaking out, but you can't blame him because he's the first to get smacked with trees. As soon as we're coming through, like he's guaranteedly going to be the first to make contact with a tree. She was so short that she literally just ducked and it went right over her and like me, and it's like here comes me, and I'm like no man, like tree. So like we hit so many trees going through. So that taught me one valuable lesson that night. When shit hits the fan, I'm not taking a fucking canoe anywhere. I'll swim. Gators and all. I'll be in the water with them. I'll have a fucking Bowie knife in my mouth. Like, no!
But that shit was like.
Rambo.
But I mean, it was just like there was nobody out. Everything
It was a ghost town. Yeah.
It was like
Oh, yeah. No,
it was like it was like
I was without
It was
power
crazy.
for almost a week.
yeah, we didn't have no power for like 2 weeks.
You know, it's funny because so many things could literally be. I wouldn't even say would be necessarily the cause of the fall, but like little things that lead up to it. Because ultimately, I think deep down inside, we all know man is going to be what causes it. One way or another, man and man's stupidity. I mean, like you look at what's going on in the world today, and you look at all this stuff, the way people react, and something happens. And where usually we used to like, candlelight vigil, like come together and mourn and like have a make a statement that way.
Yeah.
Or march to make a statement. Now we're like, our solution is to combat, violence with violence, with more violence. And while the people going out there and making their stand, they're not going out there to cause violence, but you got the people who are going in there to cause violence, who pretty much contradict whatever point they were trying to make. And that's going to be the problem, is the people who crave the violence, who crave the anarchy, who are going to essentially hide themselves behind a movement or something, and then it's just going to go bad. Like, it's a little stuff like that. And then, God forbid, like oil or something goes out, more stuff's going to get bad.
Yeah.
And it's all just going to add up, and,
It's going to be a snowball effect.
it's going to be a snowball effect. I mean, like, imagine what happens if, like, this vaccine, there's so many people on this vaccine. What if there's a vaccine shortage? You think people aren't going to be rioting out in the streets over it? I mean, like, we live at a time where so many people pretty much fantasize about the apocalypse. I know we've all done it. We've all fantasized about the post-apocalypse and like what it could be, and like how we would survive. Like I've got 101 plans. Like the bed of my truck, it's got a tent. It's got it's got like camping cooking utensils. It's got like fire starters, like stuff to literally like I can go camping at any time. Just pop open my toolbox, pull my stuff out. He bought it all, left it in the truck, sold me the truck. I got my apocalypse kit.
Yeah. Just buy new shit.
He does every time. He just buys new shit. But no, I've got I've got stuff that I guess you would call my bug out kit. Reality, it's just my if I have a spur of the moment, want to go on vacation, I've got my stuff. I can go camping. I love camping, but everything that's in there can be used to sustain me for long periods of time, as well. I mean, like if I had to, I could hunt. I could forage. Like if I had to. I'm not going to be very good at hunting.
No, yeah.
I'm not going to be foraging. I'm actually going to be pretty all right with, because I've read what you can eat and not to eat, and I did the Boy Scout thing when I was younger, and I retained a lot of it. So whenever I go hiking, like you can ask him when we're going hiking, I'm like, oh yeah, you can eat that. Like I remember certain plants and know which ones you can eat when you're like, you can eat that, but you might not enjoy what happens afterwards.
And when we go camping, if we see a bear, I'm shooting him in the leg with my bow.
Yeah, I mean, like we go, if we come across a bear, he's just gonna fuck my life up to get away.
Sorry about your leg.
Joke's on him. I'm gonna curl up in a ball. It's going after his ass.
That's alright. I bitch slapped that bear.
And
died.
now we're gonna get harassed by PETA. He's talking about slapping bears.
Oh no, you did it though. But yeah, like, I mean, it's just like, how long will we actually could survive if completely if we are living if like because the stuff won't happen like it is in Mad Max overnight.
No.
But what happens if that just happened? Like it just happened. Like somehow we're just like there's no food no more for some fucking reason. Like a virus killed all the fucking animals. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like how long could we survive?
Well, if there's no food, realistically speaking, we wouldn't last more than a week.
Well, okay. Well, I mean,
Not true. Cannibalism.
I mean, unless we resort to cannibalism, we're not lasting more than a week.
I mean, there's other stuff you could eat, but yeah.
I mean, realistically speaking,
You
like
look
if
mighty
there
tasty there,
is a shelf food shortage, that's going to cause a lot of bullshit. But if you know somebody or you yourself know like what's edible and what's not edible, like in the wild, you could probably survive.
For a little bit.
Here's the biggest thing I think is key. The biggest key factor is avoiding other people.
Mm-hmm. And that's my
but
downfall.
here's the downfall, and that is you have to somewhat still be tapped in to know what's going on out there in the world, but you also want to go off grid. So like my always plan has been like, if shit gets bad enough, like I'm just going into the woods. Like that's what's gonna happen. Like I'm just gonna disappear into the woods. I'll poke my head out, kind of like, you know, pay attention to what's going on. You know, I'm not fucking some genius who can hack into every goddamn security camera in the city. So obviously I'm not doing that.
Right.
But I would say that, you know, you would have to be able to have some sort of connection into, like, you would have to have somebody who's almost like willing to stay behind and hide and like pass information to you. So like you know how in like what was it, the remake of Dawn of the Dead, you had the guy that was living in the ammo shop.
Yeah.
And they were like communicating back and forth through like signs. Well, obviously that really wouldn't work, you know, in a bug out situation. But like, say if you have like a radio that's capable of like, what, you know, several miles, and you got somebody that's going to stay in and kind of poke his head out and blah blah blah, you'd have to have check-in times. Be like, you're checking in at this time with each other every day.
Yeah, but the problem, the thing is, who would actually? I mean, that'd be hard for somebody to do that really, without having some kind of a sense of like, why are they going to do that? Like to help out, like this to help out. I mean,
well, I mean, naturally, you have
they're gonna
people who are not going to want to go to the woods because some people are terrified of like the forest.
Yeah, but then
to some people, whatever is going on in the world is not going to be as scary as what can happen to you in the woods.
Right.
So, like,
yeah, I believe you have a better chance in the woods than you do.
Oh, absolutely. I believe you'd have better chances in the woods. I can build a shelter that can sustain easily 10 to 15 people in a matter of a couple of days. You know, I can I can figure out what's edible and stuff out there. I can, you know, trap hogs if I needed to. You know,
I mean, it's going.
I would be able to survive in the woods.
It also be a learning thing too, because we technically, I mean, we know how to do this stuff, but put in practice for.
No, I mean I've built shelters.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, I know, but I'm talking about like actually hunting for like regular consumption, not for fun.
Don't think
regular...
I would be able to traditionally hunt. Like I'm not quite skilled in that manner.
So I'm saying. I mean,
but I can say that I could build a hog pen. I've helped people build hog pens before.
Yeah.
And I could trap hogs. That I can do. So traditional means of hunting, no. But I do know how to tell when a hog has come through something recently. I do know how to do that. I can build a hog pen. We can trap hogs. That is livestock, right there. One hog, if preserved properly, could easily feed like a handful of people for a couple of days. But you'd have to ration. You'd have to eat smart. You'd have to be.
A lot of shit. You have to go back how they did it back in the old days.
Oh yeah, you'd have
dig into the earth to use it as like. I mean, they say. I mean, it's more to it than just using it as a cooler because you can't really do that here in Florida. But I mean, those ways that you can preserve foods and ground.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a little more difficult.
Salts are going to be a big thing too.
Salting, yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. Salting is going to be a big deal.
It is.
Smoke housing.
And you know how many people don't even know how to fucking can anymore? Like canning? It's a lost art. Most people don't even know how to do it. Most people don't even know what the fuck it is when you bring it up. Like, you know...
I know what canning is.
Okay, I was going to say, you're looking at me scary. I was like, please don't.
I don't know how to do it, like how
It's actually stupid fucking easy, and that's what's terrifying.
Yeah.
Is that people forgot, like, something simplistic as preserving their food.
Yeah, I understand, like, preserving your food, but I don't know.
But I'm like, you think about it, though, it's
because you can't just put, like, you can't just willy-nilly it. You got to know the correct amounts of, you know, the correct amount of stuff to put it in to make it work.
You could build a smokehouse.
You put too much.
Smokehouse will help you preserve food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like jerky. Yeah. Like, I mean, you got jerky right there. You know, that shit. Once
you do that, that's that'd be good for fucking
for a while.
For a while, keeping in bags like that, you can
right.
That's weeks of food.
But like in the old smokehouses, excuse me, they would stay going all the time because they're constantly changing stuff out, salting what's there, putting that in the salt house because it doesn't need to be cool. It doesn't need to be hot. Whatever the temperature is, it is.
Yeah, but I think
you're just
like
preserving food. You could also throw raw meats in there salted. They'll be preserved for so long before they need to be cooked and stuff like that.
But I think Yeah.
It would be rough. See,
It would be rough. It wouldn't.
You'd have to learn how to do things that we forgot.
Even our diets would be completely changed.
Our diets would be cultural. We would be malnourished for a while.
We would.
You know, we would essentially, like, you would lose people in the process.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be dying, guys.
And you got to think about too. Other people will be a big problem.
People are a problem. That's why you have to avoid people. So you almost have to have somebody who's willing to hide.
Yeah. But the bad thing is too. Like, you could survive. I'm just saying, you could survive by yourself, but you won't survive very long.
No. You need
community. You need like some kind of a community.
You need
don't
rotations.
Have,
you need to be able to establish.
You don't need like a town community, but you need at least like 15.
A hamlet. Easily a hamlet.
Yeah.
Something about like, you know, if roughly, I think the ideal amount of people.
It's 15 to 20 people.
15 to 20 people. 15 to 20 people. You can adults. Children is where it gets a little rough.
Yeah.
But you can set up rotations. You can have revolving guards. Right. You need essentially. You only need. And I would never see. I see so many movies where they have one person posted guard.
That's stupid.
You
need at least 5 people.
No, well, you need.
No, I think so.
Okay, so let's say.
It depends on
say
what
you got
kind
like
of area you have.
a boxed-in area. Okay,
Yeah.
so you always treat it like a box, even if you got like your walls like a circular or something like that. You set up a box formation. You need 8 people on guard at all times. Pair people up. So it would not be just one person standing somewhere.
Touche.
It would be 2 people because one person falls asleep. A second person could be like, get the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're going to have, but in that point, you're going to have 16 people in total that are going to be doing it because everybody's going to be changing out at shift.
Yeah,
but you're only going to have 2 shifts.
Yeah, 2 shifts. Essentially what you would have to do is...
2 shifts? That's...
Okay, so you got to think about...
2 12 hours.
You have to think
12
about
hours,
what is it like?
16 hours.
How long is it actually dark? It's usually dark.
It's only dark for what?
Like 10 hours?
No.
Something like that?
Was it 10 hours?
Yeah.
Really?
I think it's only dark for like 10 hours.
I thought it was less.
dark
Total
at
darkness
7.
is, you know, I'm not
So
taking
by-
Twilight.
Let's just do from 9 to...
I was gonna say by
9 to 6.
Okay, well...
Oh, 9 to 7. Let's do 9 to 7.
Well, like 8
Yeah.
to... We'd say like 8 to 7. So you got these hours. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take that time and you're going to split it in half. You're going to have people who are going to be like, okay, so this is how it's going to go. You're up and guarding during this time period.
And that's their job.
And that's their job.
That's
so
their job.
when it comes time to swap off, even a swap off would have to be fucking executed cleverly because you're not going to both get up and leave your post because therefore you've now left it unguarded.
Yeah.
One person is going to have to make sure that he's still alert while the other person goes in and makes sure the other guard's ready, wakes them up, gets them, because at this point we're not living with alarm clocks anymore. We're living off of rotation. We'd have to learn how to tell time.
Yeah, that's going to be hard.
We'd have to learn how to do this, so we'd have to basically get up. You got one person going off, waking the other people up, come in there, relieve them. The other person's to go there.
Yep.
So you're literally splitting the dark time hours in half for each person.
Well, only until you've come across the rotation that works, because at that point, you can have one person waking up the rotators, who are rotating out for the other people, and then they're all coming down. They're going back to sleep. And the guy that just rotated everybody out, he just goes back to bed. You know?
And I think you need dogs.
Animals in general.
Dogs in general, yes. But here is how I would handle dogs. Dogs, don't keep them in the encampment. I think that's a mistake. If you kick the dogs, I think you would pin them out probably about 30 feet away from the encampment.
They're more of a long system.
Close enough for you to hear and see them.
Exactly.
See, and I was thinking anywhere between 30 and 50 feet.
50 feet might be pushing it. I would, especially in the dark. I would want the dogs to be at the edge of my line of sight, so where I can no longer see. That's they're right before that because you want to be able to hear them. So you want to be able to almost have them close enough to where like when they start barking,
you can see what they're barking.
You can see what direction they're barking in. So at that point, you're now getting up and you're focusing on that direction.
Yep.
But here's the problem: is when a dog starts barking. If you've got dogs pinned out in the same quarter,
they're all going to start barking.
They're all going to start barking. So, and at that part, it's just going to become a chaotic mess at that point. So essentially what you would need is to be on point. So whichever dog goes off first, that is where your focus needs to be. At that point, you need a runner who's going to unleash all the dogs. Who's going to go around and just open up all the dogs and let the dogs go in it. And here's the thing. Dogs are going to bark at boar. They're going to bark at deer. They're going to bark at coyotes or anything else that comes. So you have to be paying attention to somewhat of that. Mm-hmm. But even so, that's food. So like, you want to be able to do that. Let the dogs run them down. Because I mean, like normally I'm kind of against like dog hunting and stuff like that because I feel like it's more cruel to the animal that's being taken down because it's being essentially killed through a horrible process. But we're talking about a survival situation.
Yep.
Some morals have to be forgotten.
Yep.
Some morals have to be forgotten. Like I personally, if I think somebody is a danger to the group, like it don't matter if I've known them for like 10 plus years. If they put the group at danger, and more importantly, the children of the group in danger, you got to cut them loose.
People's mindset needs to be
Of course, you got to
for the
figure out a way.
community.
Yeah, it's got to be
has
about
to
for the
be,
community.
like,
You don't just switch immediately to like cut them loose, they're done.
Yeah.
You try to find a way they can work in the community.
Right.
But if it's one of those, they're just dangerous for the community, like just outright, there is no ifs, ands, and buts. And you always need a leader. This is where I know a lot of people have disagreeing factors with it. Like a lot of people think it should be council ran, a lot of people should be this ran and that. I think it always needs to be a leader. Personally.
You can still have a council, but yeah.
Yeah.
Still believe in the council, but yeah, there still needs to be somebody who can, because those are going to be some tough decisions that somebody's going to have to make.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to be like people, most likely people is not going to like the leader
Absolutely.
for the most part.
So you need people to like almost like a secondary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's it for us. Time for us for the day. As always, we appreciate y'all stopping by. You know, give us a follow, give us a like, share this video, chime in on the conversation because this is going to be like our next couple topics.
Yeah,
next couple
'cause this
weeks
is-
we're going to be talking this. We do have a giveaway coming.
Because this can keep going. Like,
yeah.
there's still more that we can talk about.
Oh, there's definitely more to talk about.
Oh yeah, we have a giveaway coming for our post-apocalyptic themed month. So
We
please
just-
keep up attention to that because we'll be announcing when it's going to be happening, and you know,
We literally just scratched the surface right now. This is
this is just the beginning.
This is just like we didn't even get into like how would we govern and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's just, this is just we just barely this is just how we would want to because me and you we have pretty much
We've talked about this
yeah
a lot. Yeah.
a lot like we have almost pretty much the same kind of way we would like to run something. So
Well,
anyways,
that's about it for us for today. As always, stay tuned. You know, share, tell your friends, tell your mom's friends.
Tell them all I said hi.
Tell them Danny said hi.